Hello everyone, my name is Kwamia Ross, and today I'm going to be showing you my workouts. I'm going to actually go on a journey to lose 100 pounds, and this will be the third time. It's not my first time. I've lost 100 pounds twice before, and as I'll be putting pictures here, I was in great shape, and all of a sudden I just started getting injured every time I work out. I started losing the desire to work out, became very, I became fatigued, and I just didn't have the motivation to work out anymore. I was gaining weight every time I worked out, and no matter what I was doing, I was no longer lean. I was gaining all this weight, and I became frustrated and discouraged. And so this happened twice. The first time I lost the weight, and then the second time. So finally, after seeking Holy Spirit, because I had gone to churches, all types of churches, I didn't know what was going on. No one could tell me what was going on, no matter what I did. I go to the doctor. Everybody said I was healthy. There was nothing wrong. The Lord started showing me that someone had put out curses upon me, that these curses actually came from household witchcraft in my family. My father first started these curses and opened the door to me being obese. And usually when this happens, it's because someone is jealous or envious, or they just don't want you to fulfill God's purpose in your life. God had made me an athletic girl. From when I was a small girl, I was very athletic. I would run. I was very active. I was in great shape. I had a natural muscle body tone, meaning I had more muscle than fat, and I was always built for my age. And people were jealous. So, my father and his family set out to put curses on me. Long story short, I ended up going to church and getting delivered of all these demonic spirits and curses. And, people don't want you to know the truth. And this is why I share on my channel, because it's like, I couldn't get any answers. For a long time, I went from church to church. No one could tell me anything. No one knew anything about church curses. It's like the church doesn't talk about spiritual warfare. It's like it's taboo. But these are demonic spirits that we're facing. Now, it says in the Bible in Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So it should tell you there that we're dealing with spiritual battles. Now, like I said, I lost the weight twice. Now, the second time I lost the weight, I was fasting and working out, running 6, 12, 13 miles a day. Sometimes I got up to 16 miles. As you can see here, I was in great shape. Then all of a sudden, every time I go out, I was running every single day almost before work and on the weekends. I was gaining all this weight. No one could understand why. Once again, all this demonic fat was put all over my body. And the Lord led me to another woman who was being used by Satan. She started taking on my physical features. I was getting eczema on my skin. My skin was turning colors. It was getting very dark. I would have all these itches and melasma and dark patches all over my face. I had to go into spiritual warfare and pray. It was a very hard battle because she kept fighting to take over my soul. And still to this day, she's still fighting to take over my soul. As I work out, I noticed a woman, from time to time, I could feel fat coming on my body. I would feel myself, my breasts and certain parts of my body getting heavier. I would see that my legs are expanding, and all of a sudden I would see her, and she would be posting pictures of her looking small. And the Lord was letting me know, yes, she was putting fat on me. So here's the thing. I'm going to fight back, because at first I became a victim. I was pitying myself. I was angry at God. Like, why are you letting this happen? This is unfair. I mean, why are you letting a woman put all this fat on me? I was like, she put literally over 100 pounds of fat on my body, to the point where my heart was hurting me. I felt out of breath. I had a mini heart attack. All kinds of things were happening. And so the Lord was showing me, this is a spiritual battle. Yes, she's doing it. He's going to punish her. But these are spirits that are in these people and using them and then motivating and influencing them to do this. So if it wasn't her, he'd be using another person with the same exact spirit. So this is the thing. We have to defeat the spirits. And the devil doesn't want you to know this. He wants to keep you in bondage. There's many of you who are suffering with sicknesses, suffering with diseases, even obesity. Obesity is a disease. God says we are healed by his stripes, and no weapon formed against us shall prosper. He didn't create us to be obese. He didn't create us to be out of shape. He didn't create us to suffer from our physical health and to be in bondage and poverty. And a lot of these curses come on us, generational curses, because of sins of our ancestors and not being obedient to God, because you don't have his blessings when you're not obedient and you're walking in sin. And a lot of them because other people who are envious, they target us because they want to destroy God's purpose and plan and design for our lives. So I'm going to bring you on a journey because I'm not going to let the enemy win anymore. I'm not going to play the victim, and I'm not going to let the enemy steal my joy, my peace, and my destiny. And you're not going to steal my body. So for those of you who have been struggling to lose weight, or if you have some type of curse on you, you feel that you have a curse, every time you try to lose weight, you can't. It's been very resistant to weight loss, your body. You see yourself gaining unexplained amounts of weight, or you become fatigued all of a sudden. You're losing your energy, and maybe it could be a curse. And you need to start seeking the Lord. You need to start praying against these curses. You need to start quoting scriptures in the Bible. But what I'm doing here is because I wrote a fitness book a long time ago, and the enemy wanted to use that to destroy my testimony. He didn't like that I wrote a fitness book. He didn't like that I was showing people how to become free from bondage that he had put them in. So he did everything in his power to destroy my testimony. But I'm letting you know today that Jesus Christ's testimony should not be destroyed. And he's restoring everything back into me and all of his children who have lost everything. So if you want to continue on, I'm showing you some exercises. These are going to be beginner workouts that have helped me lose weight the first time, workouts that are going to be helping me lose weight this time. This is for people who probably either have not worked out before, or you're new to working out, or you haven't worked out in a long time. You might be feeling a little bit discouraged. Now, before you embark on this journey with me and try any of these exercises, I do have to advise you that I am not a nutritionist or a physical expert. I advise you to seek the consultation of a physician or a nutritionist before you try any of these exercises. But this is going to be fun. And we're going to go ahead and lose the weight together and defeat the enemy. So join me. All right, guys. I'm here. I'm starting to work out. And as you know, if any of you follow my journey, I lost weight twice. The first time I lost weight, it was back in 2009-10. I started working out. I lost about 96 pounds. It was my first time after gaining a lot of weight, not knowing why I was gaining weight. Being pregnant, I gained over probably 100 extra pounds of fat. I was nearly 250 pounds. I lost 96 pounds. I came out with a fitness book. And I wrote this fitness book to show people how to lose weight because everybody would ask me how you lost the weight. God helped me put the tools in there to help people learn how to lose weight and to seek him. That book was written after I did all that hard work. I started gaining a lot of weight, stopped wanting to work out, and it was becoming hard, and I didn't know what was going on. So the Lord showed me that people were sending out curses. And I talk about this stuff because it's real. The enemy does not want you to know that people put curses out because of jealousy, envy, or wickedness, or just because the enemy wants to use them to stop God's plans for your life and his destiny. But God says, if he's for us, who could be against us? So here we are. I lost weight twice. Back in 2018, I lost the weight again. And the Lord brought it to my attention that I had a stubborn pursuer I've talked about a long time by the name of Kiana Palmer, who had been putting fat on my body along with the help of other people. These people have been gang together against me, conspiring, putting fat in this I've been watching, I keep getting larger and she keeps getting smaller, posting pictures up and getting smaller. But I'm fighting back now. And with God's help, I'm hoping that he will help me lose the weight and avenge me of my adversaries, and that he will bring judgment down on every one of them. I'm bringing this awareness to y'all because you need to know there are envious people out here, jealous people who would do things and utilize the powers of Satan to come up against you. People might say, oh, that's crazy. No, you can research it. There are a lot of people who have talked about gaining weight that they cannot lose. I started running and I kept gaining weight. Every time I go out and run, I was small and lean, and I was just continue to gain weight on my body. As you can see me now. I have a hard time breathing, I have pain in my back, but you know what? I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna work out, and I'm bringing you as a part of this journey. As you can see where I look now, and I expect a testimony within less than 3 months that this weight will be off of my body. So here we go, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of the exercise that I do. I used to run, but it's hard for me to run because of all the heavy excess weight that's on my limbs and my joints, and it feels literally like iron. This is what God called demonic fat, because it's very resistant to weight loss. No matter what type of exercise I do, it's very stubborn. But as I've been praying, I've been noticing that the inches have been coming down with prayer and fasting and the help of God. This resistant, stubborn, demonic fat is coming off my body. Now, since I can't run as much because my muscles and my joints hurt, what I have been doing is getting on a bike. This exercise bike right here. This is how I get in my cardio. So if you're very heavy and large, and right now, walking is too slow of a pace of an exercise, you need a little bit more cardio, and you want to get your heart rate up a little bit more, I would suggest that you get a bike like this, and not like that right now. This is something easier and simpler, especially if you're new to working out, or you have a lot of excess weight on you like I do. So I do heel work, interval heel work. So I take this, I put it on the heels. You want to get a look at that? And we're going to put it on intervals, because intervals, when you get a burst of speed, it helps you lose weight quicker. So you take a slow pace, you start off with a slow pace, and I usually go to a level 5 or 6. So as you can see, it starts off with a slow pace. You do 1 minute of slow, moderate movement. And you want to get your heart rate ready, and I usually try to go for like 130 for the heart rate. You don't want to go too much. My average heart rate when I was in my most peak physical fitness was between about 150 to 170. When I would run, it can get up to 170, and I can maintain that heart rate. And I would do that for at least 30 minutes to 60 minutes. But now, like I said, since I'm starting back off, I took a lot of time off of exercising because I was frustrated because I didn't seem to be losing weight, and the weight kept coming back. But now, you know, with the help of God, I'm asking him to move this fat off my body. And I want to motivate others that, you know, no matter what level you're at, with the help of God, you can lose the weight. I've done it before. That's why I wrote the book. And the enemy used people to come up against me. But here I'm about to show you. Now we're in the intervals. So we'll look at the heels. So I want to get the RPM to about 90. So you look at the RPM. We want to maintain it at least 90 for a minute. It can't drop below 90. If you can get it to 100, that's good. But you don't have to push to 100 yet. So I want to keep it above 90 or higher for that 1 full minute. And you see, as you go faster with the RPM, the heart rate is climbing, it's getting higher, and you might be a little bit winded. So now that it's back at it's no heel, so you can drop your RPM down to between 50 and 80. And again, I would suggest that before doing these exercises, you do consult a physician to know what's right and healthy for you. So you just want to maintain an average pace, not too fast, not too slow. Get the blood circulation going. My heart rate dropped to 119. And With the interval exercise, your heart rate will go down and drop, and then it will go back up. And that burns calories quicker. And it also builds up your endurance and your stamina. If you feel that you're able to, you can increase the level for resistance. Give yourself more of a workout, more of a challenge. Now we're gonna go back up to 90 plus for a minute, and we're gonna maintain that till it gets to 4 minutes. My heart rate is at 130. RPM 108. You have to know your resting heart rate. A good resting heart rate between 50 and 80. When I was running consistently, my heart rate could get as low as 40 beats per minute. Now we can drop it back down. Got up to 136 heart rate. And your heart is a muscle. So these cardiovascular exercises are important. Anything to get your blood flowing, your heart pumping, strengthens your heart. You want to aim for a quick recovery rate. So it's been a challenge for me dealing with all this excess weight because I'm not used to being this heavy. But you know what? I don't give up. You have to be persistent. The enemy wants to steal things from you. You can't let him win. And I'm not going to let my enemies win. Now we're going back up. You want to get the RPM? RPM is at 110, 114, it's climbing higher. And once you're able to maintain a high RPM without being too much out of breath and your heart rate is steady, you can increase the level. So I can go up to 6. I'm going to do that till it gets 6 minutes. Heart rate 137. I'm going to try to aim for 140 now. And if you can't do this yet, it's fine. You will build up to that level. Each day gets stronger and stronger. Now we're at a steady RPM. Heart rate's dropping. You always want to monitor your heart rate to make sure you're safe. You wear a watch, something that you can keep on you to monitor your heart rate. Now we're going to pick it back up. Getting tired, you can lower the RPM. Just try not to drop below 90. Or 80, you can set your own pace. Whatever you're comfortable with, I set 90. You can drop it. Those legs pumping. Thank you. You should have some water to hydrate yourself. Take a sip of water. As you get stronger and more used to it and acclimated to the exercise, you'll be able to maintain a higher speed, a faster RPM for longer, and a higher heart rate. So the object is to go fast and get to the hill. Pedal faster when you're on the hills. I'm gonna cool down. I'm done with the bike, and here I'm gonna just you can do like 5 or 10 minutes on here. This is not an extraneous workout. In my peak days, when I was in my peak physical fitness and shape, I could run for about 60 minutes plus. Today, we're gonna do probably 5 or 10 minutes. And we can start off, and first I like to get started with a speed walk up the hill. Then we go into a jog. So this is to build up your endurance, your stamina, and to just get you to start going against, build up your resistance, your strength, and your power. So these are all the exercises I used to do when I first started off to lose all the weight. As you know, I've been very successful twice. I've lost 100 pounds. And I know there's people like me who are struggling. If you can't lose weight, you see everything you're doing, all of a sudden the weight keeps coming back. You can find yourself moments where you can work out and be healthy and you stay lean, then all of a sudden you start gaining weight with no unexplained explanation. You're still doing workouts, but you're still gaining weight, and you find yourself starting to become sluggish and not wanting to exercise. It's probably someone who's put out a curse on you. So Jesus Christ said, whatever he blesses cannot be cursed. So we have to decree that. It might be a wrestle, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers, against principalities, rule of darkness, spiritual wickedness in high places. We're wrestling against these demonic forces that wants to keep you in bad shape. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He wants to steal your health. He wants to steal your joy. He wants to steal your glory. He wants to steal and destroy everything about you. So we're going to start off. You can start with a slow pace, wherever you feel that you want to go to. I keep it on random. And so for my speed, I'm going to start off with like 3. Just a 3. I'm going to start off at 3. We're going to put our incline up, and we'll just keep inching it up every 30 seconds if you want, until you feel comfortable. Start off at a 2. And do just a moderate pace. You want to keep your hands on the sensor so you can monitor your heart rate at all times. So that way you know where you are. You start to breathe heavy, and you feel winded, you can't go anymore, you feel like you can't catch your breath. You do want to decrease the speed, or maybe lower the incline. You're not trying to die, you're just trying to get in shape. If you can maintain it with just a little bit of discomfort, then go ahead, because working out is not easy. Whenever you're fighting for something, it's going to be difficult. At times you might feel like you want to give up. So here I'm going to tie up my shoestring. So as you can see, I'm at a moderate pace. I'm going to maintain my heart rate. Right now it's at 122, so we want to get a little higher. So I'm going to increase the incline up to 5. Keep the speed at 3. And this is all accelerated for the video. I might maintain this pace for 5 minutes usually, but now we're going to just do it for like a minute for the purposes of the video. If you want to get your arms pumping, you can do so, but go back and forth to check your heart rate every 10 or 15 seconds or so. But the object is get the blood circulating and your limbs pumping. This is a nice good form for me. You have lower back problems, you might want to just keep holding on to the centers. Now I'm going to raise the heel up to 6. You should feel a slight burn in your glutes, in your quads. That means it's working. My calves, you feel the burn. Hill work builds stamina. So if you can't run consecutively, walking up a hill is a good place to start to increase your stamina and your resistance. That's how I started running for like 6 and 10 miles. I would do hill work. I started sprinting up hills. So if you can, if your heart rate is at a nice pace, you can sprint into a jog. If it's too much, you can lower the incline. Put mine down to 4. I'm gonna go into a little jog. So you're jogging up that hill at a slow pace. You're not sprinting. Nice, slow jog. Tighten your core. You feel in your glutes, your hip flexors. You want to breathe in and out of your nose. If you can, you can increase the speed. I'm going to 3.5. Tighten that core. We're on a hill. Should be on the incline between 4 and 6. We'll maintain that for 2 minutes. Check your heart rate. You don't want to be hunched over. Stand up straight. You can decrease the incline. Put mine down to 1. Helps. Take small breaths in through your nose and big ones out your mouth. If you're not in good shape, you might be starting to feel fatigued. So try to keep pushing. Decrease the speed if you can, if it helps. I'm going to completely take the incline to 0. Go to a full sprint. Lower. Go to a walk. As you repeat this, you'll get a long run. Run longer and longer distances. Check your heart rate. I'm at 159, which is pretty high for me. Actually 160. I'd like to be between 130 and 140, or maybe 150 the highest. So I want to drop to 150, where I'm most comfortable. And I'll break into another sprint. And as you build your stamina, your heart rate, you'll be able to maintain a lower heart rate at a higher pace of workout. It'll take longer for you to reach that higher target level. These exercises are for beginner runners, or people who haven't run in a while. You want to try and get a further and further distance each interval. You can maintain 30 seconds. The next one should be a minute to aim for. After that, a minute and 30. or a minute and a half, or a minute and a quarter. You're gonna go to 2 minutes of sprinting. Get your heart rate down. I'm gonna go to 130. Your recovery rate and time is how long it takes you to get back to like a resting heart rate. So we're dropping down to 148. So it should be like 30 seconds to a minute of recovery before you go back into your sprint. Check your heart rate. Go back to 5. I'm at 170. So I lowered my speed and went to a walk. Do not feel discouraged if you're not reaching your progress or your expectations and your goals and you're not targeting them as quickly as you like. Don't give up. It takes time. Every small milestone or achievement should be celebrated and not taken for granted. So I'm going to go into a cool down. So I'm going to do some strength training. That was my cardio work. Try to do between 30 and 45 minutes of cardio. I started off 3 days a week for cardio and then worked my way up finally to 6 days. You do what's best for you. Consult a physician or a nutritionist to make sure you're safe. You want to get in shape, but you also want to be safe doing it. You don't want to take on too much. Remember, your goals should be your goals. You should not be trying to get to someone else's level. You should be doing what's comfortable for your body and for your mentality. Not trying to compete with others. We're supposed to compete with ourselves. The better you become, the more improved you become. You're defeating your old self, the old mentality, the old ways. And as I incorporate prayer into all my workouts, don't be afraid to ask God to help you get up that hill if you're discouraged. to help you run that extra 30 seconds or mile. That's what he's here for. And that's what I wanted to share with you all. We all have obstacles and hindrances trying to get to our place in life, trying to find that level of success and greatness. But to make excuses or to project our burdens onto others and having a victim mentality is not going to help you. Every man has a cross to bear, which means we all have to carry our own burdens. We might not like the hand that we were dealt. Sometimes we might feel it was unfair. But when we're dealt certain challenges and we face opposition in life, that gives us the opportunity to excel if we choose to. If we don't sit down and make excuses or victimize ourselves, we have the opportunity to exceed and surpass those goals despite all those obstacles. And all that does is makes us stronger mentally, physically, and emotionally, and it makes us greater. We become greater versions of ourselves. So that's why I didn't throw a pity party. I was upset at first, but I said, what? Me lying down here feeling sorry, what is that doing for me? What I like to do is help others get through the things that I'm facing and the things I've been battling. So if I could be that sense of encouragement to help someone else who is facing what I'm facing, then I feel a sense of accomplishment. And you will feel that too. If you decide to give yourself a different perspective in life and not allow your upsets, your discouragements, your disappointments, the persecution you faced to make you a victim, to turn your heart and make you now the oppressor. Because see, we've all faced some type of abuse in one way or another, but it's what you decide to do with it. Are you going to turn to the person who hurt you, or are you going to turn to that same monster? Because now you're no different. And now your story, your plight, everything you've gone through has faced, it's lost its credibility. Because now you're making others suffer for no reason. People who've done nothing to you. When all you have to do is pick yourself up, lean on God and trust in Him and carry your burdens. And God will show you what to do with them. And that's all I want to say for now. If you like this video and you want more, give it a like. And that's all I got to say.